Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our global.
You're muted, Lily.
Good morning, good
There we
afternoon, good evening. My name is Lily Chang. I would like to welcome our global audience from Canada, from the United States of America, from the United Arab Emirates, from China, from Costa Rica, from the UK, from the Netherlands, and even from Greece. Thank you so much for joining us of the Maritime Silk Road, Voices from the UAE. I'm pleased to introduce the moderator of today's session, Dr. Bob Stein, who serves as a member of the board of the San Diego Chinese Historical Museum, the chair of Palomar Rehabilitation Hospital, and also a key member of the American Heart Association. Dr. Bob Stein.
First of all, thank you so much for your generous introduction. And this is going to be a fun presentation, and it's the Silk Road, but it's very metaphorical. This is going to be a cool presentation. And first, let's talk about upcoming events. In June 21st, we're going to hear about the very first Chinese-American actress, Anna May Wong, who lived basically in the first part of the 20th century. And we've got Katie G. Salisbury talking about her life, and that's going to be just a lot of fun. And then the following month in July, we have none other than Dr. Russell Lowe, retired radiologist from San Diego, who's going to talk about the story of Hop Lee, A Willow Tree Becomes a Forest. You won't want to miss that. He's written a variety of books, and this is his latest. At this point, I want to turn it back quickly to Lily to talk about upcoming events at the Chinese Historical Museum. Lily?
Next page, please. So we have on May 24th an event of our book presentation and calligraphy workshop with author Marie Chang. And June 1st, we have our Asian Pacific Historic District walking tour. Thank you.
Okay, so we want to thank our sponsors, the Shu family and the PL Charitable Trust. And now we're going to turn things over to Dr. Yudun Wang from San Diego State, who's going to talk about the Chinese Cultural Center events coming up at San Diego State. Yudun?
Thank you, Dr. Bob. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy here to announce the Chinese Culture Center, San Diego State University's culture programs. The Chinese Culture Center gonna have a summer camp from June 16 to June 27. And it's 2 weeks program for the kids to learn Chinese culture, history, arts in the center. And we are from Monday to Friday, and it's 9 to 4 p.m. And right now, we have an art exhibit by artist Yu Chunming called Ancestor Mountain. It's right on the campus in the center, the exhibition, and it's going to be until September 13. Chinese Culture Center aims to promote culture, history of Chinese culture and history, And we are open from Monday to Friday. We are happy to see everyone come over to the center. Next slide, please. And here are the guidelines for today's Zoom lecture. After the presentation, if you have question, comment, you may raise your Zoom hand or write your question, comment in the chat box. Our co-host Elizabeth will call you with your turn. And before we start, we will take a group picture. Please turn your camera on just before the beginning of the lecture. After group picture, we will start our lecture. And please turn your microphone and your camera off. And now it's about time to the group picture. All right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. 3 page, 3 pictures. Number 2. And this is gonna be the last one. Thank you so much. I'm going back to Dr. Bob.
Thank you very much. So this is going to be, again, a fun presentation, and we've got people from all around the world. I can't help but notice one of my Jefferson Medical College colleagues is on the call from Hawaii, Dr. Lockwood Young, a faithful listener. We're going to mention first the presenters. We have our first, our own Lily Cheng, who, as you know, is the director of our San Diego State Chinese Cultural Center and also the chair of San Diego Chinese Historical Museum's board of directors, and has been the chair of a variety of advisory boards in San Diego regarding international and Asian Pacific affairs. I want to throw in the fact that we're celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month now, AAPI, and so in the United States. So this is an excellent time to have a nice presentation like this. And we also are having Kim Crisco, who at the moment is in Greece, although he's based in Dubai and is an attorney and has an immigration firm in the UAE. And we're also fortunate to have Naila Al-Khaja, who's the first female film director of the UAE. And we also are having Kissy Chi, who is the CEO of the Sangbil Group, is a writer, screenwriter, and producer, and also has had decades of business experience in the UAE. So before we start with Lily, I just wanted to make a couple of comments. When Baron von Richthofen invented the term Silk Road in 1877, right out of his head. He was German. He called it Seidenstrasse, which means Silk Street. He never really meant it to be silk. He never meant it to be a street. He understood it was all a metaphor, and it really caught on. He realized there was maritime aspects, overland aspects, and it was the network of connections between East and West with ideas and goods and services. And then by complete coincidence, a couple days ago, I'm reading in The Economist an article about a book called Peak Human, and it's by Johann Norberg, What We Can Learn from the Rise and Fall of Golden Ages. And what does he talk about extensively? He talks about the Silk Road, and he talks about the Song Dynasty, which was a dynasty that welcomed other countries, other people, no barriers, and it was the golden age of interchange. And then followed by the Ming Dynasty, which shut everything down. And on shutting everything down with walls and tariffs and harshness against foreign people, the Chinese economy, according to Norberg, declined, never to recover until the second half of the 20th century. And it's now the powerhouse that we know of. So if you're interested, that's an interesting article in The Economist and an interesting book to consider by Johann Norberg. So at this point, I'm going to have Lily take it away and chat with us about the Maritime Silk Road. Okay, Lily. Oh, and before we do that, maybe a tiny, quick little comment about the slides. We're going to have Chinese concurrent a translation, and it's pretty darn accurate, and there's no worry about that at all. Occasionally, mistakes are made, and the second thing is, if you have questions, write them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them at the end. Or at the end, you can raise your hand, and we'll try to get to you. So this is going to be a wonderful talk with a bunch of presenters. Lily?
Yes, as always, Dr. Bob, a very knowledgeable gentleman, a cardiologist who has studied so much about the Silk Road. And as she said, clearly, the Silk Road was not coined by a Chinese person, rather a German person. Our global audience today will appreciate the fact that people do spread around the world. The Chinese diaspora is no exception to that. Years ago, the Chinese started going west. The presentation is part of the Chinese Cube series, and this will provide background information of the land Silk Road and, more importantly, the maritime Silk Road. And it will describe how Admiral Zheng He led his 7 voyages to the Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf, and of course to Africa. Now, this was before Christopher Columbus' journey to the Americas. So, the voyages have resulted in the Chinese diaspora in all of Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and Africa. In addition, our presentation will explore the relationship between current China and the United Arab Emirates. Next, please. So the ancient Silk Road, the land Silk Road that we know about, had actually more than 3 routes, but the 3 most important ones were the north, the central, and the south. Next, please. And as you can see in the Tang Dynasty, this is a painting from the National Palace Museum of Taipei. You could already see people from the Arab world doing their what we call tributes to the Tang court. Next, please. And then you can see also a painting in the museum showing the Arab influence in China. Next, please. As you can see, during the Tang Dynasty, the Arabian world was an important player in the exchange of goods and cultures between the East and the West, mostly through the land Silk Road on the camel's back. And then also they brought things to Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Oman, India, etc. But also there were tributes and gifts back to the Tang Dynasty. Next page, please. As you can see, during the Tang Dynasty, the Arabian world was an important player in the exchange of goods and culture between the East and the West for diplomatic reasons and also for cultural and knowledge exchange. On the right side, you can see the importance of the spices and the importance of the aromatic essences. Next, please. As you can see, this is a map that is more descriptive of the multiple Silk Roads, meaning land, meaning maritime. As you can see, the maritime Silk Roads took the Chinese from mainland China all the way through the South China Sea to Indonesia, Malaysia, through the Malacca Strait to India, from India and Sri Lanka all the way to the Arabian Sea, up into the Arab world, and down again through the ports to Mogadishu, etc., to Africa. Also through the narrow strait up into Egypt, out into Alexandria, and of course into the Mediterranean. So silk not only became the favor of the Italians, the Brits, the French, the German, and so on. And as you can see, the multiple silk routes, land and maritime, help to bring about the creation of the massive Chinese diaspora. Next page, please. So the current UAE, the United Arab Emirates, has a short history in comparison to the Chinese long history. However, the trade through the UAE area involved goods moving from Persia to the Arabian Peninsula and beyond to India, China, and the Mediterranean. So when we think about the Silk Road, we really are talking about silk routes in many places in exchange of culture, of goods, of people, of languages, etc. Next page, please. So we can see again This network is crucial because it was a network of trades connecting China, so-called the Middle Kingdom, to the Far East and the Middle East and Europe. Actually, it was established from the Han Dynasty on the land and officially opened trade with the West in 130 BCE. So the Silk routes remained useful until 1453 when the Ming Dynasty decided, the Ming court decided to shut down the Maritime Silk Road. Next, please. So in the Ming Dynasty, before Christopher Columbus, uh, Admiral Zheng He took 7 voyages. On the right side of the PowerPoint, you can see the different voyages. And you can also see the durations from 2-3 years to even more. And unfortunately, during his 7th voyage, he passed away en route and he never returned home. Some of his trips took more than 27,000 men and then many, many ships. Next page, please. So as you can see, this majestic man, Admiral Zheng He, was also known as Ma He, also known as Ma Sanbao. He completed the 7 maritime voyages to Southeast Asia. He was a diplomat and he was also a businessman. In some of his trips, 250 trips carry porcelain, meaning China, lacquer, silks, and other precious Chinese goods. So the Ming Dynasty from 1368 to 1644 played a crucial role in the development of the Maritime Silk Road and also known today as the Global South. And as you can see, the Ming Dynasty Emperor Yongle from 1402 to 1424 decided that Maritime Silk Road was important. Next page, please. As you can see, one of the ships was more than 120 meters long. And as you can see, everywhere they went, gifts were exchanged. Next page, please. And in the Malacca Museum, called the Zheng He Museum in Malacca, in Malaysia, you can see the model of the maritime ships. And in the center was the treasure ship, also known as Baotuan. If you ever have the opportunity to visit Malaysia, please stop by the Zheng He Museum and you can see the majestic ships. Next page, please. So we need to make a comparison between Zheng He's ship and the Columbus ship. You can see how small Christopher Columbus's Santa Maria. Next page, please. So the models here clearly show the differences. The Chinese sailboats, the big ones, have 20,000 soldiers on them. And as you can see, the sails are collapsible, making it much more flexible and not so easy to tip over. Next page, please. Okay, as you can see, the ships come from different sizes and different functions, some to carry horses, others to carry water, some to carry grains, others also they can grow vegetables on the ships. As you can imagine, these ships go for years and years through the trade wind, so they do need to supply. So this is called the modern time supply chain. But in the olden days, they were just called the ships. Next, please. So, as you know, in the Ming Dynasty, there was a shut-off of maritime Silk Road. So along the trade, the Ming Dynasty used the maritime Silk Road as a platform for diplomacy. So when you think about diplomacy, you need to think back many hundreds of years ago. Next, please. So in the National Palace Museum in Taipei, there was an exhibition of what we call 四方来朝. In English, it's called the four corners come to court because China was considered 中国, so everywhere else would be coming from the four corners. But from this exhibition, you could see the intimate relationships between China and the Middle East. Next, please. So there were many ports of call, many, many, many. I just mentioned a couple of them from China, Quanzhou, Fuzhou, Guangzhou, and then also from India, Champa, from Indonesia, Java, and Sumatra, from Malaysia, Malacca, from India, Calicut, Cochin, and Sri Lanka, and then on to Iran, Hormuz, and then Yemen, Aden, and then Somalia, Mogadishu, and then Kenya, Mombasa, and Malindi. So you can see so many ports of call help to bring about cultural exchange, diplomacy, and trade. Next page, please. Let's take a look again. Trade, diplomacy. I want to focus on the stops. The stops in the Arabian Peninsula help to further establish the Maritime Silk Road, facilitating the movements of goods, cultures, people, and ideas between China, the Arabian Peninsula, and the wider Middle East. Next page, please. So we're showing a map of the UAE. As you can see, we have the 7 emirs united together and they created the United Arab Emirates, most notably Abu Dhabi, most notably the UAE. We have also the other countries in the UAE. Next one. So many ports of call in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. And if you are not familiar with these ports, you might become one when you do visit. Next page, please. So the Arabian Peninsula and the Persian Gulf, there were many ports of call, including Aden, Muscat, and Hormuz. Next page, please. You can see the Dubai Creek in 1964 on the left. You can see Dubai Creek in 2007. I'm hoping you can imagine today, 2025, what Dubai looks like. And of course, Kim will tell you more about current Dubai. Next page, please. Dubai is known as the city of gold, and gold they have. As you can see, one of the pictures down below, you can see gold, you can see more gold. Next page, please. Dubai also is a city of spices. When we talk about spices, we are not limited to pepper, but to many other kinds. This is the picture of the old Dubai spice souk. It is in existence today, and hundreds and thousands of people go there every single day. Next page, please. Then in Dubai, if you visit the Museum of the Poet Al Buhara, you will also see inside the museum clear evidence of China, of porcelain, showing their preference for the Chinese China. That is why it's not only the Silk Road, it is also the China Road. Next page, please. We are going to now turn it over. Please go back to the last one. Yeah, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Bob and Kim, and thank you for you to hear about the Maritime Silk Road.
Well, as I mentioned, this talk is going to have a variety of facets, and you're going to be hearing, if you museumophiles, you're going to be hearing about blue and white pottery, and you're going to hear as to whether did it start in the Middle East, in the Arab Middle East, did it start in Holland, and was traded by the Dutch East India Company? Did it start in China? We're going to find out about that by and by. But we talked about the Silk Road being a metaphor, and it certainly is a metaphor, and it continues today, remembering that the grandeur of the Silk Road had to do with welcoming strangers, welcoming foreign ideas, welcoming foreign goods, accepting them freely, and the disaster of the Ming Empire in turning much of it off, as Lily alluded to. So, with that as sort of an introduction, we're going to now move to the 21st century and hear from Kim.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you are in the world. My name is Kim Crisco. I am a Canadian lawyer living and practicing law in my own law practice in Dubai for the last 30 years. I have represented thousands of people over that time in businesses. And over the last 20 years, I have been focusing primarily on business migration. The central thrust of what I'd like to talk about today is related to the theme of the Silk Road, which was an economic trading phenomenon. Specifically, I wish to share my experience working in Dubai for 30 years as a lawyer and witnessing firsthand how business people of all calibers have thrived in an economy that allows for the free trade of goods and services and the free flow of people in and out of the country of the UAE. When I moved to Dubai in 1995, few people knew of this city, which at the time had only about 450,000 inhabitants. And because of the economic policies of Dubai, of free trade and the allowance for the free flow of the workforce in and out of the country, Dubai has grown almost 10 times in population from the time I arrived, and the economy has experienced exponential growth beyond imagination. Because of free trade, Dubai has become a major international city in just one generation. Now, I recognize that other factors have been at play in the growth of Dubai, such as property rights, personal safety, a world-class infrastructure, and lifestyle benefits. But the growth that Dubai has experienced would not have happened without free trade and the ready acceptance of people from all over the world. But of these factors, I would like to speak to the issue of free trade and individual mobility and how it has enhanced the city of Dubai and all of those, or most of those who have come to Dubai to reside, work, and prosper. Indeed, Dubai and the UAE generally are not the first economies to be supercharged by free trade and an international free-flowing workforce. There are numerous historical examples, including, as Dr. Stein had initially mentioned, the Sung Dynasty, 19th century Britain, 20th century America, and again, China in the 21st century. When it comes to Dubai and the UAE, millions of people have been drawn here in search of a better financial life, a life that a free economy can provide. People coming to Dubai seemingly value economic liberty over some political liberties, like the right to vote. It is seemingly more important for people moving to Dubai to have the ability to live a life of greater financial prosperity than it is to have certain political liberties like the right to vote. Voting doesn't exist for expatriates in Dubai, as the UAE is a kingdom. It is comprised, as Lily has mentioned, of 7 emirates. Each are, to some degree, self-ruling. But few moving to Dubai seem to care about voting. People are more concerned about financial freedom. What good is it if you can vote if you are poor and you have little chance to improve your financial life and the freedoms and security that come with financial prosperity? Indeed, millions of people moving to Dubai and the UAE are exchanging some political freedoms for economic freedoms that become possible in the free trade environment that the UAE has established. I would say that of all cities in the world, Dubai is a clear example of how important financial freedoms and prosperity are to the human condition. The reasons people migrated to China during the Song Dynasty, or to the UK in the 19th century, or to America in the 20th century are the same reasons people are migrating to the UAE and Dubai in the 21st century: economic opportunity and economic liberty. In the UAE, when a person comes here, they'll find out how easy it is to set up business. Getting legal status and opening up a business is extremely easy compared to almost anywhere else in the world. Virtually anyone, and I mean anyone, is welcome to Dubai and can obtain a resident visa and a trade license in a matter of days and start their business. Compare this to many countries like Canada and the US, for example, where it can take 2 years or more to obtain a resident visa. These time delays are frustrating for entrepreneurs and workers alike. The lack of obstacles in Dubai allow for a path of least resistance for those looking to improve their lives. Once a business is open in Dubai, there is again few obstacles to hiring people and trading with the country, within the country and internationally. Further, there are very few restrictions to bringing people from other countries to work, whether they are skilled, semi-skilled, or even unskilled. It is much easier to put teams together in Dubai than most, if not all, other places in the world. Being able to easily recruit labor in Dubai allows for the quick filling of labor gaps in a company and in the economy, which then allows for the economy to quickly adapt to market forces and expand services. Indeed, from my own clientele, I have seen over the last 30 years, over and over and over and over again, people migrating to Dubai with virtually nothing but ideas, dreams, and unyielding work ethics. They go from rags to financial independence and even to riches. They often achieve economic liberty, which they have been unable to achieve in their home country. I have personally witnessed people coming from Yemen with very humble beginnings. I remember one gentleman, he was 13 years old, and he left his family without shoes, and he got rides from people and ended up in Dubai and established himself very, very well, and has created intergenerational wealth for him and his family. I've seen Afghanis move to Dubai and building up large business empires, Indians who have created large international trading companies, Iranians who have established successful restaurant chains, Pakistanis who have become large hoteliers. And the list goes on. I have numerous examples. I've sat with people, I've gone to weddings and lunches and unfortunately funerals. I've got to know my clients very, very well. Many of them have become lifelong friends, and I've seen how they have struggled, but have taken advantage of the free trade environment in Dubai and in the UAE generally. And I've seen their lives change for the better. I've seen their families' lives change for the better. I've seen them become happy, successful. And that would not have been possible if Dubai was not open to the world. And I'd like to mention one person in particular she'll be speaking here after me. Her name is Miss Kissy, and she is a very good example of a person who has come to Dubai with very limited means. I know her very well. Miss Kissy was one of my very first clients. She came into the office. She was a young, beautiful woman with a lot of dreams, but she wanted to go to Canada, but she didn't qualify for Canada. She didn't have the skills at that time. She didn't have the business experience. She didn't have the money to convince the Canadian government that she had the capital to establish a business in Canada. And I got to know Kissy's background growing up as a child in China. Things were very, very difficult at that time. But she came to Dubai and she couldn't go to Canada. So she settled in Dubai and tried 2 or 3 different businesses. I remember she was bringing acrobatic troops to the UAE. She had a labor recruitment company. And then she decided to open a construction company. Now, because she didn't have any education, she didn't have, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, good. Sorry, I thought I lost the connection here. She didn't have any education in this kind of work. She didn't have any experience, but she pursued, and she established a real estate construction company, started to hire workers. She brought engineers from Europe, from America, managers from all over the world, skilled and unskilled labor from China, from Bangladesh, from India, accountants, etc. She built up a team, if you can imagine, of 2,000 people very rapidly. She constructed thousands of residential and commercial units. And it's a good thing she didn't listen to me, because she became one of the most powerful real estate developers in the UAE. Over 18 years, she built up this company before she sold it. But these things I have seen over and over again. And by the way, Kissy was also involved in building part of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. No human civilization has ever created a building as large and arguably as beautiful as the Burj Khalifa. And this is a direct reflection of the economic policies of Dubai, the free flow of humanity, the free flow of ideas, and free trade. And Kissy participated in building Burj Khalifa, and good for her. So Kissy has gone on to establish a business center which houses hundreds of companies. She has now a media company, and she continues to grow as an entrepreneur. She's an author. A movie is being made out of her life, Chinese movie. So it's a great success story, and I'm very proud to say that I've seen Kissy's development over the years and been a part of it. But it's people like Miss Kissy, the people that have come to Dubai from 200 nations, virtually every country is represented in Dubai. I've traveled extensively around the world. I've traveled millions of miles. I've seen a lot. Currently, I'm in Greece, very beautiful place. Highly recommended as a vacation. Even there are some business opportunities, but in Dubai, it's really at another level. And The people like Kissy, the entrepreneurs, the people who have come to work in Dubai, who brought their skills, have made, arguably, the most beautiful cosmopolitan city in the world. It's certainly the most culturally diverse city I've ever seen. I can't think of one that is more culturally diverse. It's very easy to make friends in Dubai. It's an extremely peaceful place. Uh, Thousands of restaurants, the best Arabic food you'll find, the best Chinese food, Indian food, Italian food, Japanese food, Thai food, etc. The list goes on. And I can say, I've seen many people leave Dubai, but the one thing that they seemingly all have in common is that they believe they made a mistake. Some of them moved back. Some of them can't move back, but wish they could. Uh, and as I said, lived in Dubai, worked in Dubai for 30 years. I hope I can stay another 30 years, inshallah, as they say. And personally, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, a lot of stupid decisions, but moving to Dubai balanced everything out. And I'm very grateful for all the blessings I've personally received in Dubai. I just would like to make some final comments. Free trade between countries create peace and understanding. Societies are brought closer together through trade. Prosperous countries gravitate towards each other. And this is increasingly happening between the UAE and China. We've seen the explosion in the economic activity in China since its economy has been open to the world, and when it joined the World Trade Organization on December the 11th, 2001. And Napoleon once said, perhaps he didn't say it, but some people believe that he had said that China is a sleeping giant, and when it awakes, it's going to shake the world. And perhaps it woke up on December the 11th, 2001, because the contribution that China has made to the world through all of the goods and services that it has exported is significant. There's no country, there's very few people in the world, I would say, that haven't benefited from the economic machine that has grown in China since 2001. I initially traveled to China in 1997, and I traveled there occasionally. The last time I was there was last year in Beijing. And China, to me, is nothing like it was back in 1997. It is also a beautiful country. The people are having a much improved lifestyle. And it's these prosperous countries like China and the UAE naturally gravitate together, and because prosperous economies need other prosperous economies to further grow. And we're seeing that with Dubai and the UAE now. And when I was at first in Dubai in 1995, there were very few Chinese, very rare to see a Chinese person. But that's not the way it is now. There are large Chinese communities in Dubai, very successful, and they've contributed significantly to the growth of Dubai and the betterment of the community in Dubai. And my last final comment is something related to what Frederick Bastiat, an economist in France, once said, or again, he was attributed or believed to have said this. He said that if goods and services don't flow through borders, armies will. So that makes intuitive sense. Free trade is a move towards peace. It bridges societies. It strengthens bonds and understanding among nations. Restrictions in trade and the mobility of people is a step backward, a move away from prosperity. So it's in the best interest of all governments to adopt policies that move towards free trade, that move towards the mobility of people, because there is little detriment to that. I've seen it with my own eyes. This is my own personal experience. And I could go on for much longer speaking about this topic, but my time is limited. So I will turn our attention back to Dr. Stein.
Bob. Kim, thank you so much. And what we're doing, folks, is we're taking a topic like the Silk Road from thousands of years ago, and we're breathing life into it, into the 21st century. And we're talking about what makes for a successful trade and what makes for successful countries. And it's all, I find, to be a remarkable journey. And we're not done yet. And hopefully we'll get to those blue and white ceramics sooner or later. And right now, we're fortunate to have Naila Al-Haja, the UAE's first female film director, who is going to give her perspective of the Silk Road. And after that, we are going to have Kissy. And it's very interesting that the current Chinese government is certainly aware of the 1500-year story of the Silk Road. And their Belt and Road Initiative is, I think, the modern day equivalent of same. So, but right now, let's welcome Nyla. So nice to see you.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to be gentle because I have two very young babies sleeping. It's quite late here, but as you can see from the painting above me, a beautiful Chinese painting from China. And to get me straight to this topic, I've been always mesmerized since I was a very young girl with the Chinese culture, language, and everything else. I even took 4 months of Mandarin. Unfortunately, it was I didn't have the kind of or inertia to carry on with it, but I will definitely revisit that space. As wonderful as Kim was with his, you know, whole background, and I'm in awe with his experience in Dubai. I kind of parallel that as well, being a native, being a local here. We are only around 9% of the population of United Arab Emirates. So I always felt like I wasn't being integrated in the rest of the, let's say, community, because we tend to stick to each other, and then therefore that creates a, let's say, a negative stereotype that's not quite accurate. And we have seen it also in lots of movies, and specifically American films, where Arabs have always been painted with what we call the big Bs, and it's like belly dancers, bombers, and billionaires. And Kim and many people know that that's not accurate. And this is where my deep passion for storytelling started a long time ago. Is I would like to capture the essence of my people, the real stories, the negatives and the positive, the complexities, the beauties, the ugliness, everything, whatever that may entail, as long as it's authentic to the rest of the world, and especially specifically to China, because my brother is the one who exposed me to it, since he's been living and working there for a very long time, and so is my father-in-law. So it's quite interesting. And what I do love about the power of storytelling, it is mercurial, it's fluid, whereas back in the old days where you had the Silk Road, people would move things around, whether it's, new spices to different regions and whatnot. But the beauty of film is that you could literally, find it on your phone or an airline if you're midair, or you could see it pretty much everywhere. And if you make a movie, who knows, maybe there's someone in Los Angeles looking at your work right now. As an example for that, I actually have two films on Netflix, and they could be seen worldwide. And I'm very proud of that, because that was such a big breakthrough for me, especially specifically as a female. filmmaker. And many people ask me, what is it like being the first woman director, producer in the UAE? It was quite daunting because I didn't really have a role model. I didn't have anything to kind of hang on and learn from, or a mentor, as they say. So I had to find my way around this, let's say, very barren desert of nothingness at that time. I'm 47, so you can imagine I started at 16 when I first got my first 8mm camera and I was shooting nonstop. And I am quite daring with my topics. My topics are quite bold. And as Kim mentioned previously, there are things that you can't discuss. So there are red tapes, as we say, but yes, we have the financial freedom, so there's always a payoff. But things are opening up. Like, for instance, the last 2 years, censorship has completely fallen off from cinemas. So now movies don't get censored anymore. People are respecting the integrity of the artist. So that's really amazing. There are still topics that we can't touch upon, but strangely enough, if anything, I try to look at the positive. So if anything positive came out of that, and that's I've learned through sheer, let's say, restriction that I use my voice and really focus, as Mr. Bob said earlier, on symbolism and metaphors. So that sometimes actually, instead of being like in your face when it comes to movie making, when you use metaphors and symbolism, you could actually have a very powerful story. My first experience with my first film is it was quite a heavy topic, and it was about exorcism in Islam. And I know it didn't digest well with everyone, but it was the seventh highest grossing film in the UAE. So I'm very proud of that record. As a matter of fact, it's opening in nationwide theaters in Turkey. It released in 8 different countries. And I wanted to release it in China, but at that time, I think the topic was quite daring. So I'll try again with another feature film, which I'm just finishing off now. But we did something interesting is we used, and I'm sure people who have been in the UAE agree with me, we're quite forward where it comes to technology and especially artificial intelligence. So I used AI to reach the existing Chinese audience, or let's say market in the UAE, by using the actual voices of my actors in my first feature film and having them and vocalizing that in Mandarin. So we had the film entirely translated, and then the actors through AI were able to speak the language. And moreover, and which was absolutely amazing, it's the first Arabic film in history to have Chinese AI language being dubbed for theatrical release. So we were able over a period of 2 weeks to test this in the market here, and it generated a good income. And we had, like, during the first week especially, we had full house of lots of different Chinese viewers in the UAE who went and watched their first UAE Arabic film, but heard in their language. So that to me personally was an amazing breakthrough. And I was thinking, what if this was actually released in China? I mean, think of the potential between both cultures. So this is like something I'm really yearning to do. This is something I'm hoping to do. So hopefully with my next film, which has which I was extremely lucky to have two heavyweights attached to it. We have two-time Oscar winner A.R. Rahman, who has done incredible work with some top A+ listers in Hollywood. We also have Roger Stoffers, who's also another big giant. He's actually Dutch, but he's been living in the States for the last 35 years, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of his films. And I had those two incredible talents joining forces with me, and we created, or I directed my second feature film called Bob, which is Baab. I believe there are other slides that if we can go to the next one. Oh, sorry, I thought I had more images. But Bob is about, actually shot in Ras Al Khaimah, that we're seeing the image right now. But Bob is about the 5 stages of grief through the left ear of a woman. So it's an art house, almost psychedelic, dark, beautifully, very rich with Emirati culture. And I think it's painting my country in a way that's never been seen before. So I really, really hope that this could potentially be in a very let's say an A+ film festival around the world. And since we have government grants, that actually supported the making of the film, and I was quite surprised how open they were to not censor anything in the film. So that's quite incredible. We will push it to be the first film from the UAE to be in consideration for the actual Oscars, the Academy. That doesn't mean it will get nominated. It's just my country's never had a film where they actually pushed for a nomination or even consideration. So this potentially can be the first, and we're going to work very hard to make that happen, at least in round one. And even that is a historic moment. So my whole thesis, it's always about breaking down these stereotypes about Arabs through my movie making, not as a PR piece, none of that stuff. I mean, you see very interesting characters in my films that are weak or sometimes psychotic, but some of them are beautiful and strong. So it's really rich in all the aspects. And I'm not doing a PR piece, but actual proper storytelling where it's intriguing, where you have, you know, like a roller coaster of emotions where you get sucked into it and you really believe it because it comes from a very honest place and space. And yeah, I just want to end my short speech here by saying I'm very, very thankful to especially Kissy who brought me onto this platform. And I'm extremely fortunate to be one of the Emiratis, that's what they call us, Emiratis, with 9% locals that live in the UAE, because as a trade-off, we do have the financial stability. In my case, it was different because I was raised by a single mom for a long time, so she had to actually work hard to put me in a good school, but that taught me the value of things and the value of money specifically. But moreover, I think what I believe Mr. Kim earlier mentioned is that we have an incredible sense of tolerance for other cultures and religions, and that's what makes the UAE work for a lot of people. And it's very easy to judge a place if you haven't been here or have lived in it or soaked the culture. And you get to see how Emiratis when we open up and when we do eventually integrate with everybody else, we can be, I mean, we're known to be very generous and very hospitable culture because it's part of our DNA. It's part of who we are. And it goes back to not just the Islamic, but also our tradition where you have to take care of your seventh neighbor. When we're tribal, right? So we move in a community. We take care of our elders. We care about our younger. So being very tolerant is just part of who we are. And of course, the slide, I already touched upon it. So I'm very, very fortunate. I can't wait to show people the my feature film. And these are some shots here behind the scenes in Ras Al Khaimah, which is a gorgeous mountain area. And just to let you know, we had over 52 nationalities. 120 people were on set. We had to feed them, lodge them, make sure everybody's comfortable. And it was just an incredible experience. We had a lot of people from Thailand, Romania, Americans. My producer's American, my writer is from the UAE. It was just a beautiful mix of people to come together and create this distinct film, which I'm hoping would have a world tour. So yeah, that briefly, and this was me and my investor and Kissy at the launch of my first feature film 3. It does have a Chinese name, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the one that was released also in Mandarin, and it will be opening in all cinemas in Turkey end of this month. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you very much, Nyla. And folks, when you tuned in to hear about the Maritime Silk Road and the UAE connection, you didn't realize what you were getting. You were getting this wonderful presentation, bringing a topic of some stuffiness and some dryness alive and moving it into the 21st century. I'm actually loving this, and I'm just honored that I can even be moderator here. Right now, we've got Kissy Chi, who Chief Executive Officer of the Sangsbill Group, as we mentioned, writer, screenwriter, television producer, and decades in construction. And so, what an interesting background that Kim talked about with you. So, Kissy, why don't you take it away, and then afterwards we'll sum up, and we'll probably have time for a few questions. Okay, Kissy?
Okay. Hello, greeting from UAE. Thank you, Dr. Ba. Thank you, Laila. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone. I am Kissy. It is a great honor to have this opportunity to speak with you today. As Laila Kim just mentioned, were many hats, but among them, my role as a film and television producer is the most presented in recent years, especially through the different events and activities I've had the privilege to attend. Next, please. Here, the same stills from my latest project, Love in UAE. It was a fun and meaningful experience, as it is the first Chinese short drama filmed fully in the United Arab Emirates. I look forward to seeing you all this summer. Now, I'd like to share a 2-minute highlight from the show.
老赵，欢迎来到时尚之都杜拜。
他到底到迪拜去干什么？
什么年代了，还独立人生梦呀？
做直播，看人怎么样？人品肯定没问题。
直播是我的强项，既然请我过来，那就要发挥我的作用。
必须敢想敢干，努力奋斗才能赢。
在杜拜搞一个高级峰会论坛。
行，那就干。
一看就是干大事的料。
把这个项目完成了，利润平分。
来迪拜还有什么其他的计划吗？
我要做一款1001夜新郎闯关的 VR 游戏，
这叫杜拜梦。
像赵总这样的人，愿意放弃家人的优越条件，选择自己出来创业，就已经赢得了自己的人生了。
授权费50万美元。
你以为创业那么容易啊？
当下连饭都吃不上的时候，就先别想着拉赞助的事了。饭要一口一口吃，钱得一点一点挣。
假一赔十，你就是欺诈，就是奸商。
若飞，我们不合适，我就是暴脾气，怎么了？
这也是我自己的独立人。
行了，不要说了。
要不咱们创业计划暂缓吧。
直播的成功，大部分都是因为你。论坛嘛，如果没有洪总帮我们的忙，恐怕也办不下去。
But you are from China and you're new in Dubai. How can you guarantee our investment?
我来这创业，是不是有点太不自量力了？
你现在这个颓废的样子，可不像我认识的你啊。
问题越是严重，内心就得越强大。
他现在有困难了，我必须得帮他。
这件事儿，你必须承担全部责任。大家都是同胞，能帮一把是一把。
赵若这孩子呀，年轻有想法，我挺喜欢他的。
I want to be your partner. Thank you.
这女孩子不错呀，是你女朋友吗？
你会不知道爱情的味道？
赵乐这是创业初期，后面一定会遇到很多的困难，我想陪着他。
小丽，我喜欢你。
今天我们的直播主题是我和我的朋友们在迪拜等你。
老赵。
I'm excited to share this project with you here, and I hope you enjoy our story. When we meet, I would be truly grateful for your supporting. The United Arab Emirates, often referred to the Pearl of the Gulf, has a long-standing history of friendly exchanges with China. In recent years, our two peoples have worked hand in hand to build the bridges of cultural understanding and cooperation. Exchanges between China and the UAE in areas such as education, culture, tourism, and youth engagement have flourished. The UAE has become one of the most popular overseas travel destinations for Chinese citizens, and the number of UAE citizens visit China continuously to grow each year. Next, please. As Dr. Lily Chen just mentioned, our ancestors began connecting with one another 2,000 years ago through the ancient Silk Road. In the 40 years since the former establishment of diplomatic relations, China-Arab relations have entered their best period in history. From the early days of diplomatic ties between China and the UAE to our current era of shared destiny and hope for an even bright future. I have had the honor to witness this remarkable 30-year journey firsthand. Next, please. This picture was taken in Kuwait, where I worked from 1993 to 1995. I was part of a group of women from Jiangsu province who worked as a cleaner at a girls' school in Kuwait. During that time, I also took basic English courses to improve my communication skills. It was my first time leaving China, making the beginning of my journey abroad and helping to shape my confidence and independence. Next, please. In this picture, I am the woman dressed in black in the center. The photo was taken in 2000 when I organized my first Chinese acrobatic performance in Fujairah, UAE. It remains a special and proud moment in my career. Next, please. In this picture, I am the one wearing red. The photo was taken 1999 in my offices, which focused on manpower recruitment service. Under my leadership, we private skilled workers from more than 10 countries, including China, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Egypt, Indonesia, Malaysia, to ensure we delivered the right talent. I often traveled to these countries to interview candidates and match them with our clients' needs. These trips gave me incredible experience and taught me how to work across different cultures and nationalities. It was a meaningful time in my career. And I carry many positive memories from my work in this field. Next, please. Among all my experience in the manpower management, one achievement stands out. I am the one in the black dress in the lower right photo. I worked tirelessly for nearly 2 years to convince Carrefour to hire Chinese workers. My effort eventually opened the door for the Chinese nationals to be accepted in their operations. It was important success and a proud milestone in my career. Next, please. In this photo, I am the only woman in the center. It was taken during my first construction project in Shahama, Abu Dhabi. This project marked the start of my career in the construction field. It wasn't easy. I faced challenges on the work side, financial stress, and the difficulty of managing people from different cultural backgrounds. I began writing down what I encountered and realized how important these lessons were. Over time, I had the opportunity to work with engineers from different countries. It was hard work, but also deeply rewarding. The teamwork, problem solving, and shared learning made sense years some of the most meaningful of my life. Next, please. In 2006, we joined our first project in Las Alhaima, Hamra Village. It was one of our largest projects with over 1,000 employees involved. I will share you to some of my projects in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Next, please. Emirates Hills is my first project in Dubai. Next, please. Park Rutana is my first project in Abu Dhabi. Next, please. I'm run own construction company for 18 years until 2020. During this time, I worked with a professional from many countries, including Egypt, Jordan, USA, Germany, the UAE, Lebanon, Italy, France, the Philippines, and more. One of the most respected professionals I worked with for 15 years was Project Director Ahmad Mokavi. This photo was taken at the construction site.
Revenue increase profit and also have a share of all those profit and riches of the.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
You're fine, just continue.
Okay. Working with people from different backgrounds taught me a lot about different cultures, work ethics, and business practices. Many colleagues shared their technical and professional knowledges, which helped me grow as a businesswoman. Over the year, I worked on about 69 projects across Las Alhaima, Dubai, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. I am grateful for the experience and lessons I gained throughout my career. Next, please. This picture was taken at one of my business centers in Dubai. I now manage a group of the company based in the UAE. And we also have a sister company, Hongshan Culture Media in Beijing, China. Next, please. Sotheby's Business DMCC was established in 2014. The company focuses on office management and offer a broad range of business supporting service to both local and international clients. Next, please. No, can you back? Yes, thank you. This photo are taken with my team as a Sotheby's Group. I am proud to work with a loyal and hard work team. Two of my staff have been with me for over 17 years, showing true trust and teamwork. I believe the real strength of my company comes from my employees. Their hard work and supporting help us grow and succeed every day. Next, please. When I left China for Kuwait and later moved to the UAE, I began writing down everything I encountered. I write about the good time, the tough time, the lessons I learned, and the people I meet. These notes become the foundation of my book, Vestria Blooming. It is not just my story, but a story of hope, strength, and starting over the new place. I am grateful for every step of the journey that led me to write this book. No matter where you come from, something beautiful can glow even a place far from home. Next, please. In 2018, this book was published in China, and this photo shows my very own copy. Now we are turning into a television series, which will officially premiere next year. I am very excited to announce that the new series, Vestria Blooming, is coming soon. Next, please. To truly show the strength and prevalence sorry, this word I'm always confused. Strength and perseverance of the Chinese people and the change over the past 30 years. We've brought together a great team. Two key leaders of this project are Mr. Ren Zhonglen and Mr. Guo Kaiming. Next, please. Thank you all for spending this short but wonderful time with me. That's the end of my sharing for now. To cut a single flower is not as beautiful as a garden full of the flowers. If you would like to know more about my book, please follow me on Instagram. Next, please. Once again, Good evening to all of you from Dubai, and we welcome you to the UAE. Thank you. Have a good day, a good evening.
Kissy, thank you very, very much. By the way, your English is only a million times better than my Chinese, so don't worry about it. And
Thank you.
and for those of you who thought when you tuned in you were going to hear about the blue and white pottery, you had another thought coming. We've taken a dry subject, moved it into the 21st century. By the way, the blue and white pottery is originally from China, from the Jingzhen city, and spread around the world. And all the stuff in Holland is copies. So the answer is started in China, spread everywhere else. But this has just been a ton of fun, and absolutely I want to thank all of the speakers. Everybody was exactly on point. It was just fun. We're hearing filmmakers, uh, uh, book writers, attorneys. This was a wonderful session. We're pretty darn close to the end, but we still have time for 2 or 3 questions. And I see Lily has unmuted herself. Well, I'm going to ask Lily to make a comment or two. I'm also going to ask Elizabeth to run through the chat comments, and if there are any questions that jump out, I'll ask you right after Lily speaks. Lily, go right ahead. Wasn't this wonderful,
Yes.
Lily?
Yes, Dr. Bob, this has taken months to do, but to celebrate May, the Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I thought this presentation debunked the myth about the Silk Roads and also brought about understanding from people who actually have devoted their times and lives in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE. I hope this is only the beginning of a long journey for all of us when we learn about the world, the peoples, the cultures, the trades, and everything else. I want to especially thank Kissy Chi, Kim Krikos, and our beautiful director who had to leave us, Nyla, so that in the future, I hope we can continue our conversations and dialogues across the Maritime Silk Road. And I want to thank Dr. Bob for making this a wonderful presentation. I read many comments from our colleagues saying how wonderful this session is. So thank you very, very much.
Lily, I have to thank you for allowing me to be the moderator. I think this is one of the highlights of my month. So Elizabeth, do we have any questions that you like to bring to our folks? I'm so sorry Nyla had to leave, but you have to understand it's still morning in California. It's pretty darn late in the UAE. These are our upcoming talks. Anna May Wong next month, which is going to be cool. The first Chinese American actress. And then Russell Lowe on his latest book, which is he's a wonderful speaker, by the way. You're going to enjoy that very much. So Elizabeth?
It seems in general, the consensus is that many of the viewers felt that the session, I guess, provided great value. A lot of comments about excellent session. I did see that there was a question from Ambassador Elena Wachong. I'm not sure, Elena, if you would like to turn on your microphone and address our speakers, or if you'd like for me to read your question out loud.
For those who don't know, Ambassador Wachong is Ambassador Costa Rica, and Ambassador, are you there?
Yes, she is.
Well,
please turn.
If you like, unmute yourself, and we're happy to hear from you if you like.
There, am I visible? And can you hear me now?
We can hear you. We can hear you and see you.
Oh,
beautiful.
Okay. I can't see me, but well, first, terribly impressed with Kissy and with the background that we had about the UAE. It certainly gives us a totally different impression of what the West is generally fed. So I'm delighted to see that we're updating our information on a part of the world that we, at least over here in the West and certainly in Latin America, we know very little. So, of course, I'm from a very small country, but I am very impressed with Kissy's career. And I'm wondering, with that enormous drive that you were able to succeed as a woman in a society that is very traditional, it is just as traditional as the Chinese society, since I live in a Latin society where everybody is very macho. I understand how hard it is for a woman. I'm wondering what made you stay in the United Arab Emirates when it might have been easier to do this in your own home country?
Thank you. Thank you for, thank you. Sorry, I cannot see that. Ellen? Thank you,
Elena.
Ellen. Thank you,
Elena.
Elena.
Or to put it another way,
Ambassador
Kissy,
Elena.
what
Thank you.
what makes you run, Kissy?
What make me run? Okay, if put me 30 years ago, I ran from China because I want to give my daughter the best education because I come from countryside. After that, when I move in UAE, I find out here in UAE people very friendly and they like to teach you. They like to spend time with you. Doesn't matter your education in the technical field. Example, I'm not engineer, but they like to teach me. Example, I'm not know many things. Example, how I can say that the country laws are different, like king example. So they teach me a lot. And when you stay in this country long time, you find out these countries make you feeling like very, very freedom, and you can learning, you can have a lot of chance and move fast, give you hope, give me a lot goal to want to achieve it. That is making me want to stay in UAE. Yeah.
So what I understand is that really you were able to see many more opportunities available to you, and that the people in Dubai were very helpful.
Yes, they're very friendly because here have more than 160 countries. It's really multiple culture. It's a very colorful life. We welcome the people come and see really UAE people how life is really nice. I have been before I had the expedition. I have been many countries. US, Canada, or another Asia countries. But I feel in UAE is a very suitable for me, and yeah, it's a good life for me here.
So, Ambassador Elena, so happy to see you. You are actually from the global south, and the Chinese diaspora did reach Costa Rica, where you are. We hope that we can connect our conversations later on when we look at the whole globe. What I also want to say is to debunk the myth about UAE. Kim clearly spell out this for you. Only 9% of the UAE are the Emiratis. The rest are from different countries. Dubai and Abu Dhabi, for example, have so many people from all over the world speaking multiple languages, bringing multiple cultures, looking at diversity as a way of life. So we hope that we will be able to continue to talk about this area in the future. And I hope that we have all learned so much from the people who helped us understand UAE.
Well, thank you for that. We're now just about at 11:30, so I want to thank everyone, the participants, the people who have tuned in, and we look forward to seeing everyone next month for our next session, the Cheng Chinese American Experience and Beyond, brought to you jointly by San Diego State and the San Diego Chinese Historical Museum. And at this point, I want to say goodbye to everyone. And